Okay. Let's see what we do. Alright, what do we think?
Sienna, do you want to go first?
Yep, Sienna.
I think that some of it still feels like forced.
Okay.
Like
It
doesn't
feels
feel
like it, or when you watch
no, as
it?
in when I'm watching it, it looks like some things are just forced, like it's not happening naturally.
Mhm.
So yeah, and it was still a little bit awkward during some parts, but I think there were some parts that were good.
Yeah, look, overall, as an overall scene arc, this is probably the best one we saw today. There are nuances missing though, right? Like when you go, and actually, you guys are doing this a little bit too, like just holding eye contact with each other for far too long, that you just wouldn't do that. And so, for example, when he's like saying, you say, whatever that line is, what are you afraid of? And he says, what do you mean, what am I afraid of? It's kind of an energy change there if you're really listening. You didn't expect him to say that. So he's like, well, what do you mean, when they go, well, what aren't you afraid of? You know what I mean? If you're taking it in and not expecting, preempting that line, something would happen. Because you have no idea what he's going to say. He might say, fuck you, I'm not afraid of anything. Or he might tell you. What he says is, what do you mean? Oh, well, come on. What aren't you afraid? You do this and you do that, you do this. She's kind of on a new path there. I think if you take in what he says and that's the reason you say it, it won't feel forced anymore. It'll feel like it just, obviously, it'll just feel like it just comes from like a natural place, because the heart underneath it was much, much better. It's definitely the best version we've seen. It's the most fluid. Felt like you sort of wussed out at the end a little bit, enjoying Emily and Kira on a little bus with a clown's face on the side of it. Because you sort of built it all right, actually. You built it rhythmically here quite well.
I was gonna say during the part where we both stood up, it felt like it was like we were feeding each other's energy. Like
Yeah.
It felt really good. I think the only part which I'm a bit like frustrated on, and I think you saw it, was the part when I got up, and I just had a brain fart at one point when I was saying the paragraph, and I was able to carry on, but I was just annoyed that part it kind of just put me down a bit.
What was wrong with that?
Did you not see me
did
stumble?
See it. It's the same thing that we saw with Kira and Brandon. It's just that we saw mistakes and people staying in the thread. This is a good thing. So all you did was repeat the line. Like, why wouldn't he start? Similarly here, when you kind of mess up a line at the end, why wouldn't she start? Why wouldn't she mess up her words? Makes perfect sense. So if you're in that moment and you fumble around, go with it. Like, why wouldn't she? I see too many, I know this sounds like a bit of a jump, but Romeo and Juliet, I see too many Juliets who come out to the balcony and they're just really articulate and elegant. Juliet's 13, man. She's going to be getting it wrong, and, you know, so similarly in this spot, when you're that emotionally messed up, go with it if that happens. All right, so let's swap this around a little bit.